Hi everyone, so this is a viewer requested tutorial fixing a 1x1 ribbing, and here's my example. You could tell there's something messed up with this ribbon. There is a mistake. If I turn this around, you could actually see it more, because you will see that you'll have this ribbing here. Then you have like this reverse stockinette, if you want to call it like that, and then the ribbing. So the best way to fix a ribbing is working on the mistake on the knit side. And the reason for that is because it's easier to identify where the mistake is at, and it's easier to correct the stockinette stitch portion of the ribbing. So let me just get you guys up close here. So here is a knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, and this here is supposed to be a purl. Let me spread that here. This right here is supposed to be a purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit. And so correcting that mistake is really simple, and we are using the Japanese technique where you knit by inserting from right to left, and then the purl is from left to right. And if you look down, you could tell where the mistake was done, because if you look at the bottom here looks like purls, and then the rest are knits. You're required to have another strand of string and a nook that has the ability to have the string move in and out easily. So you will have two strings, and you know, this is pretty straightforward. So what we're going to do is that we're going to work all the way up to the mistake and then correct that mistake. So again, I'm going to emphasize the best way to correct 1x1 ribbing is to correct the mistake on the side where you have to knit the stitch. Okay, because if you remember or recall that the knit and the purl stitches are pretty much the same, it's just depending on where which side you're working on, and how it's facing you. So if it's facing you, then these knit stitches facing you are actually purl stitches on the opposite, and these purl stitches, if you turn it around, it's actually the knit stitch. So just remember that. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and demonstrate this. We're going to work all the way up to the stitch. And then a knit. Okay, so we're up to the part where we have to make that correction. So what I'm going to do is that I'm actually going to remove the string that was holding the previous row. Don't worry, it's safe because you have the hook. These live stitches are safe. You have the hook holding them. So just carefully remove the string from the previous row, and of course obviously you need to remove that. So you're going to have a nook that looks like this, and you can go ahead and place your other string here because you're going to use it. So that's what I do, and I just kind of adjust this to make it more comfortable and less likely to tangle. And then I'm gonna go ahead and place my other string in my hook here. Okay, now that I'm set, we are basically going to make sure that this side where it's not worked yet, we're going to make sure that is safe. Just you could use these clips. Okay, and I'm just gonna attach it there. Those are these stitches here they're not worked yet. So I'm gonna make this bigger so you can see what I'm doing. Hopefully you can see it clear enough. So what we're going to do is we are gonna actually take out this, and we're going to remove this string. We're gonna free that stitch, and then we're going to carefully undo it until we get to the point where we are going to have to fix it. Okay, and you could use something to help you. This is what I found, so I'm gonna just use that. Okay, so that's what it's gonna look like for us. And then you could do this two ways. You can purl here, like make it harder, or you could turn it around like this and make your life easy. Okay, and so as you can see, if you turn the work around, the work facing you looks like a knit stitch, but if you turn it on the other side, it's basically a purl stitch. Okay, and so to correct that, you could just go ahead and you could use this hook if you want to. I'm just going to use it. Take it out like that, making sure I have enough string covering the stitches that I just worked on. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and place the hook like so. Hook under the yarn. Now it's fixed. Okay, all your stitches have been fixed. Turn it around, that looks like it's been purled. Okay, so what you could do is just hold this out like that, and now your stitches are correct. You're probably wondering, where should the stitch be facing? Well, if you take a look at the purls, they open up to the right, so it should be open like this. If you take a look, if you spread that, it's opening to the right. It shouldn't look like this. Okay, it's always like this. And then now you can actually do the rest of the stitches. Since this was a purl, this is going to be a knit stitch. And then you're done. You fixed your stitch. Okay, so we have corrected the stitch, and now we could just let go of the rest of that string, and you could see that the stitches have been corrected. And of course, I'm going to end up tangling everything here, but this is what it looks like after it's been corrected. And this works also with the round. You just do the same thing, but just be mindful that when you're working in the rounds, you're knitting this, all the stitches will be knitted and then all the purls will be purled if you're working in the round. Versus working in flat, you know that if you are working a knit stitch on this side and when you turn it, that same stitch is going to be a purl. So just be mindful of that.